Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. I hereby call the March 17th, 2025 Planning Commission to order at 6 p.m. Madam Clerk, will you please do a roll call?
Commissioner Glenn?
Here.
Commissioner Allen?
Here.
Commissioner Cohn?
Here.
Commissioner Collins?
Here.
Commissioner McCabe?
Here.
Commissioner Fernandez?
Here.
Commissioner Scoggin?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any additions or changes to the agenda?
No.
Is there any objection to approving the agenda as written? Seeing none, agenda is approved. Okay, and Commissioner Scoggins, would you lead us in the pledge, please? It's to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice for all. Thank you. Also like to say happy St. Patty's Day to everybody. Are there any objections to approving the consent agenda as written? Hearing and seeing none, the consent agenda is approved. So at this time, members of the audience, we'll open up the audience participation. Members of the audience may speak regarding any topic that is not on the agenda for public hearing. If anyone is on the phone and wish to speak, please press *3. And we'll start with a sign-in sheet. And I just want to remind everybody this is anything that is not on the agenda. Okay. Do we have a sign-in sheet? All right. Is there anyone on the phone? All right. Is there any objection to closing audience participation? Hearing, seeing none, audience participation is closed. So we will move into the public hearing quasi-judicial matters. We will be hearing Resolution 25-01, a conditional use permit in accordance with MSB 17.67, tall structures including telecommunication facilities, wind energy conversion systems, and other tall structures to construct a 155-foot tall lattice telecommunications tower at 4075 South Lindsay Circle, tax ID number 17 November 03 Echo 30 Alpha 012. Applicant Sierra Larson, New Horizons Telecom. Staff Rick Benedict, current planner. Mr. Benedict, would you like to proceed?
Yes, Madam Chair. Thank you very much. Good evening, Madam Chair and Commissioners. My name is Rick Benedict, current planner with the Development Services Division. I'd like to provide you with an overview of New Horizon Telecom's application, a copy of staff's report.
I'm sorry, Mr. Benedict. I forgot to read the quasi-judicial ex parte. So I'm going to ask you to just stop for a second. And for the commissioners, all right. In order to ensure a fair process on Planning Commission decisions, the following shall be read by the chair after the resolution title and before each quasi-judicial case is heard. Number 1, do you or any member of your immediate family have a substantial financial interest in any property affected by this decision, or will you recognize a foreseeable profit as a result of this decision? Please acknowledge yes or no. Everyone on the dais says no. And Commissioner Collins?
No.
Commissioner Fernandez?
No.
Okay. Number 2, have you received or otherwise engaged in ex parte contact with the applicant, appellant, or other interested parties or members of the public concerning the application either before, during, or after this matter was submitted for decision? Everyone on the dais has indicated no. Commissioner Collins?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Commissioner Fernandez?
No.
All right. And third question, are you able to be impartial in this decision? All on the dais have indicated yes. Commissioner Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Fernandez?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, Mr. Benedict. Would you please proceed?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. Again, my name is Rick Bennett. Good evening, current planner with Development Services Division. I'm providing you with an overview of New Horizon Telecom's application. A copy of the staff report is available starting on page 10 of your packet. Sierra Larson, on behalf of New Horizon Telecom, submitted a CUP application conditional use permit to construct a 100-foot tall lattice telecommunications tower on approximately 6.5 acres of privately owned land at 4075 South Lindsay Circle. The tower will be matte gray and neutral in color, and tower lighting is not proposed. The applicant has secured a lease from the landowner, Mr. Jeff Cotterman, within a 100 by 100 foot area. The subject property and proposed location are northeast and adjacent to the intersection of East Walling Road and South Lindsay Circle and within the Butte Community Council area. These roadways abut the full length of the subject property to the west, north, and east. The proposed location is not within a special land use district. Telecommunication towers within the borough are regulated under MSB 1767, and according to the details provided by the applicant, a conditional use permit is required to construct a tower of this height at this location. According to the applicant, Verizon Wireless is the anchor tenant and intends to utilize the tower to enhance wireless and broadband services in the area, benefiting public safety and nearby residential, commercial, and public land uses. Page 148 of your packets includes a map of the anticipated increase in coverage area over existing systems. The proposed tower and facility are designed to support up to 3 wireless providers. The proposed equipment compound will meet all setback requirements and will be fenced with a secure gate. Borough code requires a minimum setback distance for a tower base equal to or greater than its height from surrounding lot lines, and according to the record, this requirement will be met. Adjacent parcels to the west, north, and east are mostly residential and range in size from 2 to 7 acres. One commercial operation and outdoor recreational adventure center, about 10 acres in size, is adjacent to the proposed location to the northeast. To the south are a mixture of entities ranging from private, commercial, native corporation, and state, and range in size from 1 to 640 acres. The closest residential structure is located approximately 385 feet to the northwest. In November 2023, the applicant conducted a public meeting for property owners within a half a mile of the proposed location at the Butte Community Center. The results are provided in a written summary by the applicant found on page 158 of your packets, which include responses from the public to the applicant's mailings. Design drawings for the proposed tower were provided by an Alaska registered professional engineer, certifying the tower can sustain basic wind speeds up to 121 miles per hour and 60 miles per hour with half an inch of ice accumulation. One borough permitted driveway, which is pending construction and final inspection, will provide access to the site from South Lindsay Circle. The proposed site plan shows a minimum of 2 parking spaces within the leased area for tower workers and emergency personnel access. The borough conducted public notice according to MSB 1703. No comments were received from the Butte Community Council. 5 comments were received from the public, 1 in support, 2 neutral, and 2 in opposition. Opposing comments cited concerns with the tower's visual impacts on the area, safety concerns regarding low-flying aircraft, and potential radiation exposure. Congress adopted the Telecommunications Act of 1996, which requires cellular towers to comply with the FCC health and safety standards for RF EMR emissions. The act preempts local governments from making zoning and land use decisions based on environmental effects of RF EMF emissions. As such, staff's review does not contemplate the potential environment effects of electromagnetic radiation. Page 141 of your packets demonstrates via FAA determination that the proposed tower does not exceed obstruction standards, will not pose a hazard to air navigation, and does not require marking and lighting for aviation safety. In addition, the proposed tower location is 1 mile northeast of the Butte Municipal Airport and will not interfere with its approaches. Staff conducted a site visit in February 2025 and concluded that the visual impacts would be minimal based on the tower design and the makeup of the surrounding area, including large parcel sizes, minimal residential development, distances from existing residential units, and large areas of heavily wooded and undeveloped land around the proposed site. These observations are demonstrated by aerial imagery and site visit photos provided within your packets on pages 28 through 31 and 45 through 73. One vacant derelict residential structure whose doors and windows were not boarded, and several junk vehicles and parts were observed by staff during the site visit. Most of the junk vehicles and parts were within the view of South Lindsay Circle. To satisfy Borough Code under MSB 820, staff recommends a condition of approval that prior to construction, the structure be boarded at windows and doors, and junk vehicles and parts be removed from the property and/or moved from the view of the right-of-way. In light of the application material, staff site visit, and comments from the public, internal departments, and outside regulatory agencies, staff recommends approval with conditions to construct a 155-foot tall lattice telecommunications tower at the reference location. That concludes my my brief, Madam Chair. However, I would like to cite that there are a couple of errors on the page 244 of the resolution. Item number 2 and 4. So number 2 currently reads, prior to construction at the proposed site, junk vehicles must be removed from the subject property or out of plain sight of South Lindsay Circle, and the derelict residential structure must be boarded at doors and windows according to MSB 8.20.020. That should be 8.50020. I recommend an edit if the commission adopts this. And on item number 4, currently reads, all aspects of the operation shall comply with the description detailed in the application material and with the conditions of this permit. An amendment to the administrative permit shall be required before any change of the conditional use. The change should be conditional use permit in lieu of administrative permit. Thank you,
Okay,
Madam.
thank you. Do we have that, those changes?
I do not believe we have them written out, but they're fairly easy changes to make.
They
Okay.
could readily be corrected, Madam.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, I'd like to ask the applicant, Sierra Larson from New Horizons. Would you like to come up? And do you have anything you'd like to add? And if you would you please come up and use the mic? I'm sorry, can you turn the mic on? Just hit the button. There you go.
There we go. Yeah. Thank you, Planning Commission. I don't really have anything to add. I think Rick covered all the project details pretty well. I did hear at one point a reference to a 100-foot tower, but he did make the correction later on, so I did want to clarify that. I'm here to answer any questions as needed, but I don't have any additional details to add at this time.
Okay. Then, are there any questions for either staff or the applicant?
I have a question for the
Go ahead.
applicant. This is Commissioner Allen. I understand that it's going to be a Verizon tower, is that correct? But if someone from, that has a cell phone from another network were to need to call 911, would it still use that tower?
Regarding the 911 specifically, I'm not sure, but I believe so. I believe they kind of work together on like roaming or something to make that happen. But this tower would also support additional carriers if they choose to co-locate there. So Verizon will be the anchor tenant, but there will be 2 additional spaces within the compound and on the tower that another carrier could locate their antennas and
Okay.
provide service to the area as well.
Public safety was given as one of the major justifications for the tower.
Absolutely.
And I think given its proximity to Jim Creek and the fact that, EMS is sometimes needed there, that could be a really important thing. But if only Verizon customers can use it, that makes it substantially less attractive. So is it possible for you to get us the answer to that question?
I
and
could
get back
definitely
to us?
get you the answer for that, but I'm just
Okay.
not confident enough in the technology and how that works to
Okay.
speak to that item, but I can definitely get an answer. And I'm positive it would work. It's
Oh,
just,
Okay,
I don't
fair
want to
enough.
state it as a fact.
Thank you very much. And then I had a question for Mr. Benedict. I understand the issue with the dilapidated tower or dilapidated building in the near the site. I think that's a great idea that we're gonna have that cleaned up. In terms of the tower itself, is it visible from the Glen Highway? Will it be visible from the Glen Highway?
I would imagine under some circumstances and perhaps with visual aids, it could in some portions of the highway. It's not currently erected, so I can't.
Sure. I just wondered if
Speak.
you had a ballpark guess if you thought it would be.
I would imagine with really good eyes somewhere, perhaps, but I can't provide you any.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And sort of the other part of that is I've seen in certain places in the lower 48 where you have cell towers mixed in wooded areas where they put up a facade like a green, like a fake tree and make it look like a fake tree so it sort of blends in with the landscape. Is that something you've ever seen happen here?
I have not personally worked a permit application with that technology built in, but they do exist in other boroughs, municipalities in the state.
Okay.
I'm not aware of one being permitted with that design here,
Okay.
to my knowledge.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
you. Okay, so at this time, we'll go ahead and open the public hearing on Resolution 25-01. If anyone on the phone wish to speak, press *3. And if there's anyone in the audience, we have a sign-in sheet. If there's anyone in the audience who wish to speak, nope, is there anyone on the phone? Okay. Hearing and seeing none, are there any objections to closing public hearing? All right, public hearing's closed. All right, at this time, I'll entertain a motion for Resolution 25-01.
I'll make a motion for Resolution 25-01.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Resolution 25-01 has been motioned by Commissioner Glenn and seconded by Commissioner Scoggins. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion on the phone?
No.
Can I ask a question of my fellow commissioner? Commissioner Glenn, this is your neck of the woods. What's your experience with the cell coverage out in that area?
I actually have one on my property, and there's a hill that blocks to the east of our cell tower, a pretty good size hill. And so I think that there's a pretty good blank spot up at Jim Lake. And so this new tower, which I just became aware of course, is it should fill the gap. So there's a lot of people recreating up there, and it's a good deal.
Great.
So
Thank you.
Okay, any more discussion?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
No discussion. This is Commissioner McCabe. I'm just going to move that we amend 25-01 per Rick Benedict's staff's recommendations on page 244 where the resolution is situated, numbers 2 and 4. And I don't have the exact wording that he gave, but if he could reiterate that, maybe we can incorporate it.
Yeah, through the chair, Madam Chair, Commissioner McCabe, the wording for number 2 should be, prior to construction of the proposed site, junk vehicles must be removed from the subject property or out of plain sight of South Lindsay Circle, and the derelict residential structure must be boarded at doors and windows according to MSB 8.50.020. And item number 4 should read, all aspects of the operation shall comply with the description detailed in the application material and with the conditions of this permit. An amendment to the conditional use permit shall be required before any change of the conditional use.
Get all of that? Okay. Is there a second to the amendment? She made the motion.
I'll second
She made the
that.
motion for the amendment. Yep. Okay, Commissioner Glenn, second. Okay, is there any discussion on the amendment? Is there any objection on the amendment? Hearing and seeing none, the amendment passes. Back to the main motion. Is there any more discussion? Okay, are there any objections to Resolution 25-01 as amended? Hearing and seeing none, resolution passes. Okay. We are moving to Resolution 25-02. A conditional use permit in accordance with MSB 17.30, conditional use permit for earth materials extraction activities to extract approximately 1,028,000 cubic yards of gravel over 10 years, located at 4120 East Brenda Avenue, tax ID 1341000 Tango 001, and 4101 East Fairview Loop, tax ID number 1341000 Tango 002, with Harold Gershmill subdivision, within Harold Gershmill subdivision. Applicant Paul Minnick, Big Dipper Construction. Staff Rick Benedict, current planner. Before we begin, I'll read the ex parte questions again. So for all of the commissioners, do you or any member of your immediate family have a substantial financial interest in any property affected by this decision? Or will you recognize a foreseeable profit as a result of this decision? On the dais, all are indicating no. Commissioner Collins?
No, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Fernandez?
No.
Thank you. Number 2, have you received or otherwise engaged in ex parte contact with the applicant, appellant, other interested parties, or members of the public concerning the application either before, during, or after this matter was submitted for decision? On the dais, all have indicated no. On Commissioner Collins?
No, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Fernandez?
No.
Thank you. And the last question, are you able to be impartial in this decision? On the dais? All have indicated yes. And Commissioner Collins?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Fernandez?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Benedict, you can proceed.
Okay, hello again, Madam Chair and Commissioners. Rick Bennett, current planner, Development Service Division. This overview will be of Big Dipper Construction's application, and a copy of staff's report is available starting on page 298 of your packet. Todd Minnick, on behalf of Big Dipper Construction, has applied for a conditional use permit to extract earth materials from 4120 East Brenda Avenue and 4101 East Fairview Loop. The applicant anticipates the removal of approximately 1 million cubic yards of gravel through 2034, with reclamation anticipated no later than 2037. The total area of extraction is approximately 17.44 acres within 2 adjacent parcels. The proposed hours of operation are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Saturday, annually between April 1st to November 30th, dependent upon seasonal weight restrictions and weather. The proposed site is located within the borough's core area, Assembly District 3, and the Gateway Community Council area. Material extraction below or within 4 feet of seasonal high water table or within 100 feet of wetlands or water bodies is not proposed. In addition, permanent structures and the use of a batch plant are not proposed. Based on information provided by the applicant, a CUP for earth material extraction activities is required according to MSB 1730. The subject parcels are currently not developed and have a limited history of extraction activities since the applicant acquired them in 2017. According to the applicant, the extraction was for in-house projects and did not involve the sale or barter of materials. Prior to the applicant acquiring these properties, several residential structures existed along East Fairview Loop in the south that have since been removed, as well as junk vehicles and parts. The northern portion of the proposed properties remain largely undisturbed, with uneven terrain and wooded areas consisting of deciduous and evergreen trees. The subject properties are located between and near the Parks Highway to the north and Alaska Railroad to the south. Other significant roadways within proximity are the Seward Meridian Parkway, Old Matanuska Road, Fairview Loop, and Fireweed Road. Parcels within a half mile of subject parcels to the north and west of the proposed operations are an equal mix of residential and commercial uses. An equal mix of undeveloped residential and commercial uses exist within a half a mile to the south and east. 2 active material extraction operations exist within a half a mile to the northeast and the southeast, which access East Fairview Loop and East Fireweed Road. Public notice was conducted according to MSB 1703. The Gateway Community Council did not respond, and 3 comments were received from the public, 2 of which were negative, citing concerns with dust, noise, and traffic generated from the proposed use. Borough Code requires the consideration of factors such as whether the applicant is compliant with state and federal laws, whether the use is inconsistent with applicable comprehensive plans, consideration of the operations road and access plans, whether traffic volumes will exceed the minimum levels as specified for traffic standards, whether visual screening and noise mitigation measures are being applied, and public comment. The record indicates the proposed operation is compliant with state and federal law and is consistent with the core area comprehensive plan, the economic development strategic plan, and the 2022 official streets and highways plan. MSB records indicate no violations of Borough Code have been observed at the subject properties since the applicant took ownership. The operation will utilize East Fairview Loop for access to the site for extraction activities. Traffic generated from the proposed operation is not anticipated to exceed thresholds required in a core area conditional use permit. East Fairview Loop is a state-maintained roadway, and according to the record, the operation has applied for a driveway permit. The applicant proposed to periodically access East Brenda Avenue to remove any remaining junk vehicles, parts, and vacant structures up through Phase 9 when access will be removed to the site. East Brenda Avenue is a borough-maintained roadway, and an MSP driveway permit has been applied for and is currently pending final inspection. A condition of approval is recommended and included in the draft resolution to prohibit the use of East Brenda Avenue for earth material extraction activities. The operating plan incorporates a combination of visual screening and noise mitigation methods, such as limited operational hours, retaining vegetative buffers, operating below grade level, utilizing existing topography, screen fencing, and phasing design methods to minimize impacts to the adjacent land uses. The applicant does not propose artificial lighting, and vehicle lighting will be obscured by the excavation face, surrounding topography, and screened fencing. The applicant proposed spraying water in the active extraction area when necessary to mitigate dust and track out from the site. In light of the application materials, site visit, and comments received from the public and local entities, staff recommends approval with conditions of this resolution to permit earth material extraction activities on the subject parcels. Madam Chair, that concludes my brief.
Okay, thank you very much. At this time, I would like to invite the applicant, Paul Minnick, to come up and speak. And it must be Tim's standing in place for him, representing.
Hello, Madam Chair and Planning Commission. My name is Tim Thiali. I'm with the Boutier Company. We put together this application package for Big Dipper Construction and Paul Minnick. So I'm standing in as a representative for him. This gravel pit's located on East Fairview Loop, just east of where Old Matanuska Road splits off and goes towards Walmart. It is anticipated or going to incorporate 2 lots, as Mr. Benedict said. The total property area is 18.39 acres. The 401 East Fairview Loop currently gains elevation going from south, gaining north to the north, and is provides about a 70-foot to 80-foot cut of gravel material there. The neighboring property to the west has some residential development on it. We are maintaining a 100-foot buffer to the last phase of this pit along that wall, that side of the property line. to help with noise mitigation, light mitigation. The pit bottom will be graded to drain from south to north, so into itself, so we won't be generating or having stormwater runoff leaving the site to the south. As Mr. Benedict mentioned, there is a driveway currently to Brenda Avenue on the north that is not going to be used for gravel extraction and hauling of gravel materials. So I just want to make that clear that they're going to focus on Fairview Loop, which is the more appropriate road to use for access for this. There is a driveway permit in with the state of Alaska Department of Transportation for that driveway there. It is currently constructed from the previous owner, got slightly modified by Big Dipper and needs to be corrected a little bit in order to meet DOT standards. So we're working through that process. They do have some long range plans with this that are not for a consideration, but just wanted to let you know that they are anticipating that once this gravel extraction is done, site will be used for further development such as residential, multifamily, or commercial. There also will be engaging the neighbors to the west because with the grading, it's going to create a kind of ridge along that property line. So they are intending to work with the neighboring property owners to try and remove that and provide kind of a consistent grading through there. Again, that's future development and needs to be worked out, but yeah, I think that wraps it up. I think besides what Mr. Benedict had let you guys know, I'm here for some questions if you have any, and we can go from there.
Okay. Are there any questions? Commissioner Collins or Commissioner Fernandez, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am. No.
Okay, thank you. All right, so at this time, we will go ahead and open public hearing on Resolution 25-02. If anyone's on the phone, wish to speak, press *3. And I'm going to ask everyone to please state your full name and spell your last name for the record. We'll go ahead with the sign-in sheet for those who are here in person, and we'll start with Angel O'Connor. If you would like to come up and please turn on the microphone and state your name and spell your last name.
So I had just one question. Can I ask a question?
No, this is your time to give
just the time to
testimony.
speak? Okay.
Yep.
My name's Angel O'Connor. It's O''Connor. And my family and I live at 3701 East Carefree Drive. We're very concerned about the proposed extraction site, particularly the 4120 East Brenda Avenue. Online, I read the permit narrative that stated on page 3 that the existing driveway on Brenda Avenue will be used in the future for clearing and grubbing, which will generate heavy machinery traffic on our neighborhood roads, Brenda Avenue, Carefree Drive, and Campbell Street, which we are against. It said it was proposed just 1 trip per hour, as the narrative stated. That is potentially 10 trips a day, 6 days a week, 8 months a year for 10 years, totaling 4,800 trips on our residential neighborhood road over the next 10 years. This is an estimate that I generated from the proposed 1 trip out per hour. If there were to be a return trip, that would double those numbers. The traffic and noise would severely impact our quiet family lives and our little residential road. Some reasons we oppose the proposed extraction site include that it is a quiet family neighborhood with many children, elderly, families, pets using the road to walk, bike, and play daily. There is a daycare with many small children along the proposed traffic route. There are 2 bus stops servicing many children coming and going, approximately 6 times a day, that would cross paths with this proposed heavy machinery equipment coming down the road. And it would cross paths with their exit route, which is dangerous, and it has the potential to completely block the roadway, as the roadway is not very large Furthermore, the road itself is not built for commercial use or heavy machinery traffic, and in fact is currently washed out and broken at the end of Campbell Drive, which has been there since January. We ask kindly that you please consider permanently barricading or blocking the access to the proposed pit from the Brenda Avenue and Carefree Drive side. We deeply value our homes, properties, and our quiet family street, and it is our sincere hope that you will consider this too. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next person on the list is Dawn Macbeth. And I do want to clarify, you can ask questions, you just can't get an answer direct when you are doing your public testimony.
My name's Dawn Macbeth, DAWN, MACBETH, and I also am concerned. I live at 4000 East Carefree Drive, and I'm concerned about the 4120 East Brenda Avenue. It's a residential area that these trucks are going to be coming into, and the borough maintenance has already been out there in January, which you just heard, and they've blocked off a part of the road because it's crumbling on the sides, and it's just not made for heavy dump trucks. It's quiet there, and this will be, the noise and the traffic would drastically affect people walking, biking, just being in your yard, gardening, hearing all of that. And I know this because in 2023, they were pulling out stuff from this place, and it was going by, you hear the air brakes, and then the dump trucks have to make a right turn, and if you're sitting at that stoplight, they're not. You're backing up, and that's how they're getting through, and because that's what's happened. So, yeah, I'm just asking that you might consider denying the permit for the 4120 is what I'm asking for Brenda Ave. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul Minnick, you're on the list to testify. Are you the owner, sir?
I am the owner of Big Dipper Construction, 46 years. We've never had a problem with our trucks ever driving on someone else's road, Borough Road, State Road, or nothing. But that road that she's talking about, the only time we came out of there was when we were hauling junk out of there. I've never hauled off that road, out of the back of our pit, never. We don't anticipate hauling anything in or out of there for over 10 years. If we need to haul out of there, but it won't be tearing the roads up or nothing. When I bought that property, there was over 200 cats there. There was 6 trailer houses and 1 concrete house and 1 Quonset hut. It cost me over $100,000 to clean that mess up. And we cleaned it up, and it's the cleanest operation around right now. I mean, I got a 6-foot high fence up. I got fencing on the fence so you can't see in there. And for the last 6 years, I've hauled borough sand out of there 24 hours a day. No one's ever complained one time. We got lighting. I mean, we keep everyone out of there. We're not, we don't make lots of noise or nothing. I mean, we go in there quietly and come out of there quietly. That's all I got to say. So,
Okay.
okay, thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
questions? I don't know. Thanks.
Okay, is there anyone on the phone? All right, is there anyone else in the audience who would like to speak? Okay. Hearing and seeing none, is there any objection to closing public hearing? Okay, seeing none, public hearing's closed. All right, Mr. Benedict, do you have any other comments?
Madam Chair, just to follow up briefly on some of what the comments I just heard, those properties did have a history prior to Mr. Minnick owning them for junk and trash, and he referenced cat population issues that we don't currently, I didn't look into, it's through animal care, but it appears that Mr. Minnick, Big Dipper Construction has cleaned up the property, junk and trash, and some derelict approaching structures that may have been on the property according to aerial photography. And then the application did cite that access from Brenda would be sparingly used, just and periodically. It's not anticipated long-term use consistently throughout the week. So I just wanted to clarify on that.
Okay. All right. Are there any questions for staff or for the applicant? No questions. Okay. So then at this time, I'll entertain a motion for, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Commissioner Glenn, I'll make a motion for resolution 25.
Stand by just a second. Hold just 1 second. Say it again.
I'm sorry, maybe I missed it. You generally this time we get give the applicant a chance to address things that were brought up. Did I miss it?
Okay. I'm sorry. Would you like to? I thought I did. I missed it.
What are you asking, Alex?
We're going to give the applicant an opportunity
Oh,
to
okay.
answer any of the questions.
Mr. Minnick came up and addressed those comments with Brenda Avenue. I think that was the main concern. And yeah, to also agree, emphasize what Mr. Benedict said, that, yeah, it's used for sparingly to bring equipment in and out, is not going to be used consistently throughout the day for hauling, especially for hauling gravel and materials off of the site. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. All right. Last time, if there's no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
And I'll make a motion for 2502.
Is there a second?
Commissioner McCabe, I'll second it.
Okay. Commissioner Glenn, motion for resolution 25-02, and Commissioner McCabe made the second. Is there any discussion? Commissioner?
This is Commissioner Allen. I think it's still the case that, I mean, obviously we know that the Matsu Borough is not only the fastest growing part of Alaska, but the only growing part of Alaska right now. And I think within the Matsu Borough, the Fairview Loop area is the fastest growing part of the borough. And I think my guess would be that the vast majority of this material would be used in building in that local area. And I think we've heard a lot of testimony over the years in terms of the actual extraction site. I think, that's what's going to be necessary for a number of years here as that area continues to expand. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Is there any discussion from the commissioners Collins or Fernandez?
I have a comment, Commissioner Fernandez here.
Go right ahead.
So I wanted to note that under staff recommendations in the handout, under item number 7, it explicitly states the operation shall not use East Brenda Avenue, South B Shannon Street, East Carefree Drive, or South Campbell Street to transport earth materials. So it is baked into the recommendations that we'll be voting on today. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Any other discussion? All right. Okay. You never know what we're going to hear on the phone. All right. Is there any objection to resolution 25-02? Hearing, seeing none, 25-02 is approved. Okay, we are moving to public hearing legislative matters. Resolution 2503, a resolution of the Matanuska-Susitna Borough Planning Commission supporting assembly adoption of the Matanuska-Susitna Borough Safe Streets for All Comprehensive Safety Action Plan. Staff Jamie Taylor, civil engineer. Jamie, would you like to come up and proceed, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair and Commissioners. My name is Jamie Taylor, and I'm a civil engineer for the Public Works Department in Matsu Borough, and I'm the project manager for the Safe Streets for All Comprehensive Safety Action Plan. So thank you for having me here tonight. There's a handout with a little presentation I put together. You want to look at it. First, what I wanted to do was provide some clarification on what this plan is and what this plan is not. So what this safety plan does is provide a background on the safe system approach, which is the U.S. Department of Transportation's, are you pulling it up? The U.S. Department of Transportation's guiding paradigm for reducing serious crashes on our roadways. The plan provides an analysis of 5 years of crash data, crash history within the expanded core area of the Mat-Su Borough, which is just the study area that we used for this plan. It's goes from the city of Houston, city of Wasilla, city of Palmer, and all the area in between. This plan sets goals to reduce serious and fatal injury crashes on the road, and it provides a recommended list of policies and practices that the borough, the cities, and the MVP can choose to implement. It provides a toolkit of safety countermeasures that these agencies can use in developing new road projects, and it recommends projects that can help improve safety at selected areas. Those recommendations are based on the analysis of our crash history, and it serves as a tool to fund projects and planning activities. Without adoption of this plan, the borough or any of the cities or MVP would not be eligible to apply for Safe Streets for All implementation grant funding, which is the main reason we want this plan adopted. The next page, what this plan does not do, it does not serve as a directive or mandate to implement any of these recommendations. It does not change the boundary of the Mat-Su core area. It's just called the expanded core area for simplicity. It does not favor one mode of transportation over another. The goal is to improve safety for all users. And it does not limit or recommend limitations to allowing ATV use where they are legally permitted to operate. It does not direct agencies to use any of the countermeasures in the toolkit, and it does not set goals related to reducing carbon emissions or combating climate change. And then also, there's no penalty for not meeting any of the goals that this plan sets. So our consultant, Michael Baker International, who put the plan together for us, has come and given you a couple presentations already. So I'll keep this part short and sweet. There's the plan is very long. It's over 300 pages long, and it goes through a lot of stuff. But I think it's really well put together, and it's very readable. And I hope that everybody has had a chance to review it. There's a lot of good stuff in here. Like there's over 16 project recommendations. There's an implementation matrix and performance measures for tracking how implementing these projects is improving the safety on our roads. We put out a community survey and got 912 responses on that survey. And we had over 800 virtual public workshop views, 16 meetings with borough agency groups like yourself. We got a resolution of support from the Transportation Advisory Board. I'm hoping that the Local Road Service Area Advisory Board will also be passing a resolution on Thursday. And we also received 74 public comments on the draft plan that was out for review in January. The final plan will be adjusted in a few places based on those comments. Further addressing ATV space in our right-of-ways and adding recommendations for improvements for Shaw Elementary are a couple things that came about from the comments. So in conclusion, I am hoping that you all like the plan that we've put together, and I'm hoping for your resolution to the Assembly to ask them to adopt it. And I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any. Also, Sarah Shocker from Michael Baker is on the phone if you have any more technical questions that I am not able to answer myself. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So are there any questions?
Commissioner McCabe, I just have one question. How much did it cost to do the whole study and the publication that you put together?
The Matsu Borough obtained a grant to put this plan together. It was about $550,000.
And a follow-up, what, can you name some projects that might be considered as part of the Safe Streets for All grant money that you would be attempting to garner from the federal government?
Yeah, so this plan proposes 16 possible projects. One of them would be a group of projects that would improve walkability to schools. One of them is to put turn lanes along Bogard Road from the mini roundabout into Wasilla, widening shoulders on Vine Road is another example.
I think those were in the packet, weren't they?
Yes.
Any other questions? I have one. What is your estimation of the grants that you're looking for as far as how much you expect to get or could get?
The grant for a Safe Streets and Roads for All implementation grant, it is between $1 million and $10 million, and it does require a 20% match, non-federal match.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Any questions online? Commissioner Collins, Commissioner Fernandez?
No. No, ma'am.
Okay.
Nope.
Thank you. All right, thank you very much. Okay, so at this time, we'll open public hearing on Resolution 25-03. Anyone on the phone wish to speak, press star 3. Is there anyone on the phone? Okay. Is there anyone in the audience who wish to speak? You know the routine. State your name, spell your last name, please.
Hello, Planning Commission. Appreciate this opportunity to speak here. My name is Timothy Alley. Last name spelled Alley, with the Boutte Company. As I got pulled out there for a second, but as I came back in, I wanted to, a few things got brought to mind. One thing that in particular was that the Boutte Company that I worked for several years ago had worked with the borough to do a Safe Routes to School plan, do an update to it, some estimating and help with some of this stuff. And I have not seen a whole lot of that come to fruition. So this is definitely an issue that I think is important, and I think what the staff has put together, from what I've seen of it, looks pretty good. But I just wanted to, come up and voice my support since I'm here, and it sounds like a good plan. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to participate? Okay, hearing and seeing none, is there any objection to closing public hearing? No objection, public hearing is closed. Okay. Are there any other comments from the applicant? Are you good? Okay. All right, I'm sorry, staff, not applicant. Okay, so at this time, we'll entertain a motion for resolution 25-03.
It's Commissioner Allen. I'll move 25-03, please.
Okay, is there a second?
And Commissioner Glenn will second that.
Okay, Commissioner Allen moved resolution 25-03 with a second from Commissioner Glenn. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, Commissioner Glenn, our roads we're way behind the power curve on our road situation around here. I was across Hollywood the other day. It's a wreckage, and Vine's a wreckage, and the old Glen's a wreckage. And, I know that's a state road, but we need to catch up here pretty dang quick. And I don't know where we're going to find the money, but we need to find it. So anyway.
Okay, anybody else?
It's Commissioner Allen. I totally agree. I also just want to say it's pretty obvious that a lot of really hard work went into this plan by a lot of people, and it's, to me, very well done. And so I want to say thank you for that.
Okay, anything else? Okay. What do you think? Okay. Yes, Commissioners Collins or Fernandez, do you have any comments?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Well, then with that, if there's no other discussion, is there any objections? None on the dais? Is there any on the phone? Okay. Hearing, seeing none, resolution 25-03 passes. Okay. With that, we don't have any correspondence information, unfinished business, new business. Is there any commission business that we need to talk about?
Well, if you have questions.
Any questions? And it doesn't seem like there is. So we will move to director and commissioner comments. And we'll start on the phone. So how about Commissioner Collins? Would you like any ending comments?
No, I appreciate everyone's time today and the work put towards the agenda and all the preparation that went towards it. And I appreciate everyone being here and moving forward with these efforts. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Fernandez?
No comments. Just thank you to staff and everyone who participated today.
Thank you. Commissioner Allen?
No comments. Thank you.
Commissioner Glenn?
No comment.
Commissioner McCabe?
No comment.
Commissioner Scoggins?
No comment.
It's not even sunny anymore. Not sure why you guys are so quick to ready to go. Anyway, Alex, any comments?
I'm just going to say I already made this plug at the Joint Assembly Planning Commission meeting, but for those of you who are not here, we do have Wade Long, who is our new Development Services Manager. He'll be sitting here at the dais sometime in the near future when he feels comfortable doing that and when we feel comfortable him doing it. So, yeah, welcome aboard again.
Welcome. Okay, and I have no comments, so we're going to call it a night. I am calling this meeting adjourned at 7 p.m.
The conference has ended. You will now be disconnected. Goodbye.